The other thing that I do all the time is I want to compare actual budget to expenses. So let's say right here, this is the amount that was budgeted. I don't want these columns, so I'm going to right click on it, click delete column. This is from another example. Right click on that, click delete column. All right. So that's a travel budget there. I want to say how much was already spent. You can bring something over from another sheet. So over here, down at the bottom, I've got another sheet that shows how much has been expended. So I can put this total amount here and click enter. So you can pull things over from other sheets by just doing equals, going to the sheet you want, and picking whatever that value is and hitting enter. And now that will show up on your new sheet. And the reason I do this, there's actually a really practical use for it, is very, very often, if you're doing budgets, there'll be one sheet that has how much money has been spent. So there's all this money that's allocated for personnel, there's all this money that's allocated for fringe, and at this particular point, there was 22,000, say, budgeted, but there was 33,000 expended. And I want to compare that to the existing budget. So I go back over here. Here's what was budgeted. Here's what was spent. How much is left? So that's super, super duper easy, I think. The only thing that's a little confusing, but this is just specific to your program that could drive anybody crazy, is that the categories the tribe uses are more specific than the categories the federal government uses. So we have to add them all up and make sure they come out. So for example, in the funded grant, there's 78,300 for fringe benefits, but the tribe breaks it out into every little thing. So you just need to make sure they match up. But that's one of the things I use Excel for all the time, is making sure that budgets match. So I can add up, as you saw, everything that goes in fringe and compare it to the fringe that's budgeted, and yay, it matches up. The other thing I do all the time is I will compare expenses to budget. So here in this particular month of this grant, my sheet on what was expended showed there'd been 33,000 expended. I could put that amount over here. And you don't have to, right? I mean, I could have just subtracted one from the other, but then as a person trying to figure it out, well, where did that number come from? Well, it was the difference between what was spent and what was budgeted.